Okay, boom. Now, gonna start off with push-ups.
And the mouse on that device using TCP over port number 3389. It's common to see remote desktop being used on many types of Windows operating systems, and RDP allows you to either connect to the entire desktop that someone may be using, or to simply connect to an application that is available on that device. There are also remote desktop clients available for other
5 reps, that's what I thought.
macOS or Linux desktop to be able to remotely and administer these Windows
Just do Nordic.
RDP. We have many different devices on our networks. We have our desktop computers, our laptop computers, servers, we have tablets, local devices, and all of those devices have a clock inside of them. They all know the time and the date, and they're able to determine what that is by using NTP, or the Network Time Protocol, that communicates over UDP port 123. It becomes critical to synchronize the clock across all of these different devices, not only to synchronize log information, but some of these devices must be well synced to be able to authenticate properly to each other. This means that everybody's going to know exactly what the proper date and the proper time is, and you as the administrator get to determine exactly the frequency that NTP will use to be able to provide the synchronization. This is a very accurate way of synchronizing the clock. On a local network, you can get accuracy better than 1 millisecond across all of the devices using the network time. If you use a voice over IP device, then you probably use SIP. This is the Session Initiation Protocol. It uses TCP port number 5060 and TCP port 5061. This is a protocol for setting up calls, for ringing the phone on the other side, and for hanging up the call once the call is over. It also extends your voice communication by adding video conferencing, instant messaging, file transfer, and many other applications using this Session Initiation Protocol. Microsoft uses SMB to transfer files between Windows devices. This is server message block. You may also hear this referred to as CIFS, or Common Internet File System, and it's what Windows uses to transfer files or to share printers between Windows systems. SMB commonly uses TCP port 445 to be able to send SMB communication directly between devices using the IP protocol. We learned earlier that sending emails from your device uses SMTP, but receiving emails uses a completely different set of protocols. You may use IMAP.
Yes, a set of Nordics done.
Transfer email messages to your device. Top 3 is post office.
Do some more push-ups. We'll go knuckles.
That function. Top 3 is considered to be a basic mail transfer functionality. For most of our devices we use today, we're using IMAP4. This is Internet Message Access version 4, and it uses TCP port 143. This allows us to use multiple clients to access our device, so we can see exactly the same mailbox from our mobile device as we do from our desktop system.
So I do handstands actually.
Printers are probably stored in a large
Take my socks off.
environment, and it's usually accessed through a protocol such as LDAP. LDAP is the Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, and it uses TCP port 389 to allow your client to communicate to an LDAP server. There's also an encrypted form of LDAP called LDAP-S.
Could do handstands, yeah.
It uses SSL.
Let's try a fingertip push-ups.
And it uses TCP port 636 to be able to send that data. SIP is not the only voice over IP control protocol out there. You may also use 23 on your
That was okay, it's getting there.
It uses TCP port 17.
Okay, handstands.
Similar to SIP, H323 allows us to make phone calls, be able to ring the phone on the other side, and hang up the call when the call is over. This is one of the earliest voice over IP protocols, and many voice over IP applications will still use H323 as its
Blue would out stuff in the blur. Nah, can't really have the full rep there, so skip that. This is fingertip push-ups, one leg in the air, one set.
Instead is an overall guide to understand exactly how the data is flowing. Some places may put a particular component in OSI layer 2 or OSI layer 3, and indeed it might overlap between both of those layers. Don't get too wrapped up in the details. You should instead be looking at a very broad view of the data as it's flowing from an application onto the network and back again. In your studies, you might also see a reference to a set of protocols called the OSI Protocol Suite. The OSI Protocol Suite isn't something you really find on today's networks. This OSI model was built based on the design of these OSI protocols, but although the OSI protocols don't exist anymore, we continue to use the OSI model. As we step through the OSI
Let's do another set.
certain protocols that exist or live at certain layers of the OSI model. If you're working in information technology, you'll almost
Put in the air.
references to this model, and in some cases, you make references multiple times a day to certain aspects of the
Nice.
OSI model. It allows different
Ain't
parts of
gonna
the
lie.
organization to reference very broadly how a particular application flow is occurring, and if there's any problems, you can all specify whether the problem might be in layer 4, in layer 7. Everyone in the organization will reference those particular OSI layers.
Okay,
Different layers of the OSI model.
let's do quick.
Session, transport, network, data link, and physical. And if you wanted to roll that into a single sentence, you would remember all people seem to need data processing, which refers to application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical in that order. Let's start at the bottom of the OSI model with the physical layer. Physical layer is where everything begins and ends on the network. It is the signal that transports our traffic across the network. You're not really dealing with a lot of protocols at the physical layer. We often refer to the physical layer as referring to cables or fiber because that's where the signal is for our network. If someone says that you're having a physical layer problem, they mean that there's a cable that's bad or a punch down that needs to be repaired. You would commonly run loopback tests, replace cables, and swap adapter cards to help troubleshoot a problem at OSI layer 1 or the physical layer. Layer 2 of the OSI model is the data link layer. This is the most fundamental communication that occurs across our network. We commonly think of the data link layer as having data link control protocols. On an Ethernet network, the data link layer is referencing the MAC addresses that are communicating on the network. So if you're dealing with something that is switching or bridging or having two devices communicating with each other using these MAC addresses, then we usually refer to this
Look at that workout. Swiping, tucking, go my knuckles.
As the routing layer. This is an internet protocol layer. So if you're dealing with any type of IP address, you're really referring to something occurring at the OSI layer.
Okay, that's that part of the workout done.